Hello, I'm Christian and Matteo. This is the Fugitive Poem Show. The art will not be changing. And I'm really psyched to have you guys here with us today. Before I forget, because I always forget to say it right away, music is by C Notes. C Notes is an incredible human being, incredibly talented, and actually did a lot of research, looked at a lot of our art and our stories to come up with the beat for this show. It was a really cool process. The link tree is right there if you want to work with C Notes and get some great beats or even some rapping. Incredibly talented human being. So tonight we have a really cool show for you. We're going to have a dear friend on who, as they themselves put it, usually haunts the chat, the comments, and is now going to haunt our actual show. Though I think Luke said it better than that. So we are here, and we're going to jump in right away. Right after I say this, Fugitive Poems is now on Global Comics. Go to Global Comics. Go to Global Comics. Type in Fugitive Poems into the search. Dirty Living into the search. Boom, Dirty Living will come up. Issue 1. Totally free. Does that mean our subscription service is getting cheated? No, not at all. On our subscription service are issues 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So by being a member on the subscription service, you are 4 issues ahead. But we wanted the world to have a taste of Dirty Living. And if you haven't had that taste yet, go to Global Comics, type in Dirty Living, and read an absolutely incredible supernatural noir that just gets wackier and more violent and more bizarre as it goes along. Detective Doug Wood is dealing with a corrupt precinct, a sexy sniper trying to kill him, and a mob boss on his ass. And then the undead begin to rise. This is a great comic. You're going to want to check it out. Speaking of great comics, let's bring to the stage Luke Henderson. Hello, Luke. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Excellent. And then we have with us today Mark Capitelli. Very proud to have Mark Capitelli with us.
No, you're not. Stop it.
I am always proud to have you with me.
So
we've got, and it's the perfect introduction for him, Mark the Decapitator Capitelli, senior editor and horse thief.
Acquitted.
And then we also,
at that point.
and then we have Luke W.
Henderson,
who you can find on Blue Sky at Luke W. Henderson. I refuse to write the BKSY social. I can never remember all of it. So go to Blue Sky and look for Luke W. Henderson, and you will find him. So Luke, welcome to The Art Will Not Be Changing. How are you? How you been? How you doing? What's new and exciting?
I'm doing pretty well. A little sleepy tonight because last night I went to the hockey game with my family, and unfortunately it started at 8:30. So we were up late, but it was all good. I'd love to say it was a good time, but it was not. My team lost 8-3. So
who is your team?
The St. Louis Blues.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were playing our hated rivals, the Blackhawks, and we lost really bad.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not a sports guy. I just have such a hard time watching sports. But I did go to a hockey game and I enjoyed the fights for a little while.
Yeah, that was always the best part.
Yeah, it was fun.
So it's one of our guys threw a wrestling move. I don't know what the one we call where you grab the guy by the head and put him on your shoulder and drop down. He pulled one of those on the guy.
Really?
Yeah, because he ran into the goalie and pushed him over. So one of our wings was like, nope.
Give him the old stone cold stunner, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, nice. James Lines is in the chat. Hello, James Lines. Co-founder of Fugitive Poems Comics. Good to see you in the chat, dude. So Mark, we are here today. We gather here today to talk about Luke's new project. You have been a part of projects with Luke before. Before we unveil what this project is, what is it like working with Luke?
Honestly, it's pretty awesome because he chases my ADD ass down when I completely neglect to do what I need to do to help him out. But no, I love the stuff he's putting out. It's fun. It's creative. I'm in 2 of the Crit series, and I fell asleep at the wheel for the 3rd, but maybe someday he'll have me back if he feels like chasing me to the ends of the earth again. But in the meantime, it's really good stuff, and I'm enjoying it. And I'm a little behind with the newer stuff, but I am going to be catching up.
That's awesome. Well, the cool thing is that Luke has an awesome new project which is accomplishing a lot of great stuff. I'm going to pull it up on the screen. Luke, would you tell us what the name of the project is? Luke is frozen.
No,
we made
absolutely. So
Luke.
We have Letters from the Void, which is a first in an existential horror series that I'm currently running right now. We've got a stunning cast of creators for this book. A bunch of rings of... Oh no!
I missed the last thing that you said. Yeah, you keep cutting out.
Did I lose you?
Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, with this, you keep cutting out. Well, we'll take a look at this thus far. Luke, when you can hear us, let us know. So the background for this, the theme here: for eons, humanity has shouted into the void, but now the void wants to tell its own stories. Luke, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I think my internet's being bad. It's misbehaving.
Last episode we had Doug Wood on, and he didn't show up for half an hour because he had the wrong time written down. And I had to tap dance that whole time. So I've got Mark here tonight, but I'm really hoping I don't have to explain I'm hoping we don't lose you and I have to explain your book. Yeah, Mark and I.
Got a little soft shoe going on.
What is this concept? Where did it come from? Where did this specific concept of the void come from?
Well, at first I wanted to do a book that showcased my lettering at first. So I was just kind of thinking letters. And I was like, oh, what if it was some sort of concept that involved like physical, letters in the mail? And I am also a big fan of horror. So then I was like, well, let's try go down that route. And I don't remember the exact steps that went to where I got to the void, but I was like, oh, what if the physical manifestation of, fear and anxiety was literally writing letters and leaving them in places for people to find? So that way, because, it's had all these, all these fears and anxieties dumped into it. And occasionally people will draw from it to write their own tales. But now it wants to write its own tales because it's just gotten so much material.
Oh, it's such a great concept. When I think of this, first thing I always think of is Nietzsche. When you gaze into the abyss, remember the abyss is gazing back into you. I love the idea that the abyss. I'm sorry?
I said now it writes back.
That's what I was about to say.
It's just classier, if you ask me.
It's impolite to stare.
Exactly.
This is terrific. So now you say horror. What kind of horror can we find in this book?
Stories that are definitely drawn on people's personal experiences, but kind of explore some of the deeper things that make us human. Like there's a story you got up right there, The Spider. That's kind of a story that's about kind of feeling like you are not getting what you deserve, and so like, oh, if only you had something that could get you what you deserve, but maybe that thing completely destroys you. I love this story by Wells Thompson and Kenneth Fontano. It's kind of got office space vibes, and Wells wrote this story as a limerick as well. He said in an interview with me, he thought that the void might kind of find this story kind of funny, even though the sequence of events that happens in it are definitely not humorous to humans.
I'm a huge fan of Ken Fontano's art. And this jumped right out of me. I knew instantly it was Ken. And so much so that I put that bottom image on our show advertisement for today. But it's also an incredible get to have Wells Thompson in the book. Wells is a very successful indie writer who's had a large number of successful Kickstarter projects for adults and for children. That's very cool that Wells is part of this book. So this has a darkly humorous side to it, the story.
Yeah, you could definitely see kind of a humor to it, especially with, like I said, the narration is all written as a limerick. So
Right.
yeah, so it's definitely dark humor, but definitely not a happy ending.
Okay. All right. Now, what about echoes here? This is another beautiful page.
Yeah.
Daniel says this will be taken to the next level once it gets sent to people.
Speaking of Daniel, this is Daniel's story.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is kind of a poetic, post-apocalyptic, kind of Lovecraftian type of story. I almost don't want to say too much because it's only 2 pages, so the big reveal's on the
Oh.
next page. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, the art's done by it's actually the first person I ever pitched to an anthology with. He's an Argentinian artist named Christian David Navarro. And
Okay.
he's a phenomenal artist, especially in black and white. I think that's where he really shines. His inks are just incredible. He does facial expressions so well, and he's really fun to work with. Like, we got, I think, 4 or 5 different designs for that spaceship in that first panel, and you really can only see it like prominently in that first panel. So like, it just, the dude is such a craftsman.
Meticulous.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a beautiful shot. That Planet of the Apes Statue of Liberty concept shot is a particularly wonderfully drawn. Really great,
I was
great
thinking
art.
Cloverfield, but yeah.
Oh, that's true. Well, Cloverfield, she's beheaded. Oh, yeah, that's right. This is great, and Daniel is an incredible writer. Really fascinating ideas and executed in such unique ways. I love Daniel's writing.
Yeah,
We scrolled it. I'm
I
sorry.
like that Daniel draws from a lot of the things that interest him, because like this story draws a lot on like older like Jamaican music traditions where they would have like these huge sound systems for parties. Like that's kind of where the ship design comes from. Those are speakers on the outside, and that's why there's graffiti on it as well.
Daniel says Christian was fantastic to work with. He really brought the story to life. And for the purposes of the show, I'm going to assume he's talking about me. So that's good news.
I thought you could only draw Ninja Turtles.
But so damn well.
So well.
So we have another beautiful piece here. The space between the gaps. Anything you would tell us about this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is written by a writer that's work I've admired for a while. Their name is Anna Everts. They're from the Netherlands. They write comics, but they also do a lot of TTRPG stuff, like especially a lot of like kind of like oh my god, what's that group? Kind of like Critical Role, where they do campaigns but like act the characters, so that way you get like a really immersive experience with that. This story probably my favorite because of just how much Anna draws from their personal experience. They say that because of their health, they sometimes have a lot of memory issues, and this story is very much about like forgetting your loved ones and like losing touch with kind of reality. So that's where the space between the gaps comes from in the title. And
wow. Okay.
the art's done by a Canadian artist, goes by Garu, and they are been fantastic to work with too. They are so creative, especially with, you see the bottom layout. Anna was script was very, very detailed. They had a very specific vision of what this was going to look like, and Garu just absolutely nailed it. There's actually a second page that I need to letter this week so I can put it up on the campaign page, and it's even better. But yeah, this is probably our most emotional piece. That's gonna really rip people's hearts out.
Great. Still with a horror vibe, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, part of
this
ripping
one probably
people's
makes me the
hearts
most
out,
uncomfortable.
All right, wonderful. And then we've got No Guilt here, which I love this last panel.
Yeah, that's the art is done by Mitchiums, if you know of them. They've been everywhere in so many anthologies. They've actually done some work for DC as well. Got a very distinct art style. And that's why I paired Mitchium's with Krista Heriter, who used to be one of the editors at Comic Book Yeti and just kind of does short comic work whenever they want to. But this, I love Krista's writing because they're very minimalist with their dialogue. They really like to write stuff where the art does most of the heavy lifting, and that's why you see on there's only one caption box at the bottom on that page, but it packs such a punch.
Yeah, it's a beautiful page. I love whatever's coming out from the cell phone and then how it overtakes that bottom panel. Absolutely gorgeous. And then I think is the last one that you show is Another Time Around, which has this great overhead shot opening it, which I absolutely love.
That roulette is probably the best opening shot in the entire book, just because without spoiling too much thematically, it's so important. So yeah, this is story by Joe S. Farrar, who does the Bump series. Also, just recently did a comic called Blinded that is all lettering. Really cool book. Yeah, it's Joe doing the writing and Rob Jones does all the lettering. The first 2 issues are out. I'm hoping they'll release the 3rd and final issue soon because I want to know how it ends. Yeah, that story's about a man who loses his sight and kind of has to learn how to, re-navigate the world as a blind man. And so that's why there's no art. It's just lettering.
Oh, wow. That's a great concept.
But yeah, this story is, it's kind of a Groundhog Day type story where each page is this character getting resurrected into a new life. It begins with them being kind of a spoiled, selfish business person. But at the end of the day, when they've reached the end of the life, they're happy with their choices because they're dying in comfort. And then, suddenly they wake up and they're in a different body. They're in a different time. And so they're trying to figure out, what's going on. And the ending, this one is probably the least supernatural story in the book, but it's probably the most, I don't want to say heartbreaking because it's not really a sad story because of just where the character starts off, but it's probably the story that's going to make you think the most by the end because it's not going to end how you expect.
All right. Oh, it's interesting. Every story you've described has so many facets to it. This sounds like a perfect roll call for an anthology. We have Ryan Santos in the chat. Ryan Santos, the incredible artist of Dirty Living, a wonderful human being and a fine judge of soda water. He is doing the art on Dirty Living, which you can now find the first issue of on Global Comics. And you can find the first 4 issues of Dirty Living for only $2.99 on my phone's ringing. What a jerk. I didn't turn it off. On fugitivepoems.com. And then Daniel says, lettering only comics. I've only heard of one of those before. Wild that there's another. There is a series I can't remember the name of, but the only drawings are dots. Some a little bigger than the others, and otherwise it's all word balloons. And I have it upstairs. It's great. It's really funny, but all the characters are just dots on a page. And the story is moved forward by the dialogue, by the lettering.
We have a story like that in Crit 1-3 that I wrote and that Dave Hingley did the art on the final page for, because the first 2 pages don't have art. It's literally just lettering because it's a fantasy story about these two warriors trying to navigate a cave to get something that a queen supposedly wants from them. And then, at a certain point, they light a stick on fire, and that's when the art comes in because they finally have some light.
Oh, that's great. And Dave Hingley is an incredible artist. Gets some awesome feeling into his work and just unique style. Let's take a look then. We have this book. It is beautiful. The covers are gorgeous, and we're looking at them right here. I happen to love this scribbled, psychopathically scribbled letter itself, but these other covers are really stunning too. Tell us a little bit about these variants. Who's doing the covers?
Yeah, so our main cover is done by a Colombian artist named Felipe 1000, who I hired him to do this cover last year, maybe a year and a half ago, because this book's been a while coming. It took me a while to finally get to this point. But so I I'm taking full credit for discovering Felipe because now everyone's hiring Felipe. Like, yeah, he's got another book kickstarting right now with Edward Kane called Sprite.
Oh, that I didn't realize that was him.
Yep, he's on there.
Yes.
He had a story in another book that just funded on BackerKit. Like I said, I take credit for discovering Felipe. I'm pretty sure I had him before anyone else, but he's a fantastic artist. He can do anything from cutesy anime stuff to the terrifying cover that is our main book. But then we got our B cover that's by a British artist goes by Doomweasel Art. And
Doomweasel Art, I love it.
I love their stuff. I found them on Blue Sky from someone reposting their stuff. They do this kind of scratchboard style art, what you can kind of see right now with the GIF going by. But yeah, the scratchboard style art is it's a really cool effect. So I was like, I knew I had to have this for one of my variants. And I wanted to do an homage for this one to John Carpenter's The Thing. So that's why the nightmare creature is kind of posed the way that it is, because it's supposed to, be like that iconic film poster that was advertised.
Yes.
Thing.
Yep.
And then our final one.
I love that.
Yeah.
So good.
Thank you. And there, our final one is by Donna A. Black, who she's done now 3 covers for me. She is probably my favorite artist that is in the indie sphere right now. Her stuff is fantastic. She uses painting and multimedia, and her stuff just is can be anywhere from like beautiful to creepy and everything in between. And she's wonderful to work with too. She actually sent me two designs for the cover, which one of them became the print you can get in the Vessel bundle, because I loved them both, and I was like, I'll pay for this one and I'll use it for something. But yeah, this was her other cover design that I see. It's got a little it's hard to see on the camera. There's a lot of subtle details here in the black.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get you only on the screen, and I messed that up.
He's such an egotist.
Yeah, I mean, well, unfortunately, the gloss finish is kind of reflecting. But yeah, we got that, and yeah, also the stamp sticker from Daniel and Christian's story.
Oh wow!
Yeah, despair postage, only 26 cents.
I love it. This, I put the Kickstarter link in the chat. This is an incredible book to back, and one of the good things about backing a Luke W. Henderson project is that it makes me cough. Is that you're gonna get it? You're gonna get it, and you're gonna get it in good time. Just back the void. Others better get in before they get a letter from the void. Thank you, Claudio. Claudio, the man himself, talk about incredible artists.
You can actually get your own letter.
Yep. So we've got another backer, as we should. Luke, you've put out. What do we think this is? Your 7th or 8th project? 7th?
Yeah, I think it's my 7th Kickstarter.
And tell us, what was your first?
Oh, my first was a little collection that was supposed to be just 16 pages of comics called Sparks. That was just stuff that I'd submitted to anthologies that like I still wanted to have made. And that anthology unfortunately didn't reach funding, so it never got made. So that was the first cover Donna made for me, and I need to use that art for something because I paid for it and it's gorgeous. But Sparks didn't reach its funding. It's probably not coming back, because those were comics I wrote maybe 3-4 years ago, and I think I've just grown as a writer.
Okay.
I don't know if I necessarily want them out in the world anymore.
Okay. And then you followed that up with Crit, or was there something before Crit?
No, yeah, Crit came shortly after. I found I was already running a zine group with Comic Jam people, and I found out that Kickstarter has a zine event called Zine Quest, and so within like a month of Sparks not reaching its funding, I was like, "Hey, do you guys want to throw something together for Zine Quest? Like, this sounds fun." And so yeah, that book came together in probably 3 months, and then we kickstarted it for a pretty small goal, and kind of the rest is history. Now it's a series, and we'll have our 4th one. We got our holiday one actually coming up in November, and then we have.
Wow.
And then we have the 4th one coming next February for Zine Quest.
Great, and it's such a cool series. It's a mix of comics and prose and art, and I have all of them. Absolutely love them. And Mark has been in two, which thrilled me because I love Mark's writing. I can see that you also have, as part of, am I sharing screen? Yes, good.
Mm-hmm.
As part of this variety of add-ons, you have Zona del Male, which I had the honor of being in with Kenneth Fontano, with our story Albino Satanist. Wow, I have lost English. Albino Satanists in Heat. And I had a great time working with Ken and with Daniel on that. In 20 years, sell them as an early work collection, referring to Sparks. There's a lot of books that you've done here, and people can get pretty much all of this. Summer's End was that was terrific. That was the one with the two different stories in it, right?
Yep. That was one that me, Richie, Claudio, and John Jack did.
Yeah, that's got both those stories are absolutely terrific. I enjoyed the hell out of that. What is Nothing Out of Something? Is that your poetry book?
Yeah, so a couple years ago, I did. Tried to do. I would make a poetry comic every day in April because April is National Poetry Month, and I didn't manage to do every day. I only got to 21, where I just kind of lost steam. But I've been wanting to scan those poems and clean them up, and then put them together as a collection. And so I did that, and I actually released it for the first time for my poetry chapbook project that was over the summer. And so yeah, that's the first this year's the first year that you guys can get my poetry comics that I did. They're all drawn and lettered and written by me. And so I have an artiste credit now.
So you've got drawing, you've got poetry, you've got writing, you've got lettering. Where did your artistic impulse initially develop? What was it, writing that you came to first, or art?
Yeah, writing is the first thing that I've really latched on to. I did do a little drawing growing up because, especially in daycare, me and my friends, we would take that how to draw manga book, and we'd make characters from them, and then we'd cut them out and we'd use them as action figures. So got a little drawing in early days from just us copying out of a how to draw manga book and making our own characters. So that way we could basically do role playing, but like we didn't know about D&D or anything like that at the time, so we didn't know we were doing role playing. We were just like, no, we're playing with our characters that we cut out of paper.
We've got.
Sorry, I've been so quiet. I was busy on Kickstarter. Guys, it's really worth it. I mean, go take a look. I did the one with the little stamp sticker and the alternate cover because that was just entirely too beautiful. And he's got a lot of other stuff up there for little add-ons, and I grabbed one of those as well. It's really worth it. So take a minute if you haven't already. Scroll up in the chat, or Christian, if you want to post it again, the link to Kickstarter. Make it happen.
I just put it in there again. Claudio said, I'm also in Zona del Male, first published issue using my blacklight style. And Luke also put together Rise of the Flightless to help raise funds for penguins. Yeah, tell us about that book.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. So you guys, if you talk to me more, you'll get to realize that a lot of my ideas, I just come out of nowhere, and they start off as just me saying bullshit, and then I'm just like, wait a minute, let's roll with that. That's kind of how Rise of the Flightless came, because it came after the announcement that, there was all these tariffs, and that one of the places that was being tariffed was the McDonald Islands off of Antarctica, which has no people on it. No one lives there but penguins. So the joke was, the president is taxing the penguins. And so my wife and I was like, we should help them be able to pay those taxes. And so that warped into, okay, we're going to make an anthology of all volunteers where we'll put it on Itch for $1. And whatever we raise from that book, we will donate to the Antarctic Science Foundation. We actually just made our first donation. It was around $200 to them.
Great.
So it's doing pretty well. Our goal was to make $500 to donate to them. We haven't quite hit that yet, but it's okay. I'm just going to announce this now because I haven't really said to anybody. We're going to do a physical edition of Rise of the Flightless next summer with a bunch of extra artists and writers who are bigger names in indie comics. and it's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to that, to doing a bigger book with more people and hopefully raising more money for the Penguins.
Oh, that is so cool. And we got that exclusive right here on the show.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I am so glad to hear that. Folks, the Kickstarter for Letters to the Void is in the chat here. And you're going to want to keep a weather eye on Luke, because Luke's got a lot of big stuff coming out. This Penguin thing is a great idea. Daniel says Penguins for the win. He also said bullshit ideas are gold in the hands of writers or lyrical alchemists. That's beautiful. Absolutely. All right. So tell us about the rewards for this. What's the big favorite reward for this Kickstarter?
So I offered that you guys could actually get a handwritten letter from the Void, which will be a short piece of flash fiction written by me, and then I will handwrite it on a piece of notebook paper to put in with your comic. So Claudio, you actually can get a letter from the Void with my campaign. But yeah, that one, I didn't know how that would go, because artist commissions are so common as a Kickstarter award, but not writers commissions. So I was like, I'll give this a shot. Matt Kent actually was kind of the inspiration for this, because he did a Comic-Con where he literally brought an old-fashioned typewriter, and he was accepting writer commissions that he would type on the typewriter in front of people. So like a little
Is
short.
that right?
Yeah, Matt Kent did that. I was like, always been wanting to try it.
I've been trying to figure that out too. What can I offer from myself like that? An idea of a flash fiction piece is kind of a cool idea. I love the idea that he brought an old-fashioned typewriter to the con. That's great. That is brilliant. In fact, Daniel agrees and said that is genius. Mark, we lost you. Where did you go?
Yeah, internet, decided it's had enough of my shenanigans. But luckily, I have another channel, so now I'm on that.
Well, we could use some more of your shenanigans, so jump in anywhere you want. Not another one. The last
I
one
was
keeps
busy
floating
ordering.
over.
Goodness.
Say again?
No, I'm sorry,
Mark?
I tripped all over that. No, I was just saying I was sorry I was quiet. I was busy ordering the goodness like everybody else should be.
I love this personal letter from the Void. It's only $50. There's a lot of great stuff here. Digital sketch cover. Can you explain the digital sketch cover? How does that work?
Yeah, so I've been trying to find ways to make digital goods feel more exclusive, so for people who they want something special, but they don't have as much money, or maybe they're overseas, so they're worried about the special thing getting lost in shipping. So the digital sketch cover is going to be, so if you get that tier, I had 4 artists who said they'd be willing to do this. You would pick whichever one of those is your favorite. They would literally put a sketch on that blank cover, and then I'll put that in a special PDF that'll be only sent to you. So it would be your special digital copy of the book. The only way anyone else would have access to that is if you're copy pasting it and sharing it around with other people. It's kind of my compromise, because nowadays it seems like there's kind of a bad rep for trying to make digital goods that actually are exclusive without it falling into NFTs or other digital tokens that are just, it's just a link to a JPEG basically. So this is kind of my way of doing it, because I do think there is a way to make exclusive special digital goods, but you just got to be conscientious about it. It can't be something like on some of these sites where you get it, but then you can't download it. You can only view this thing on their website, which I get what they're trying to do to make scarcity there, but people don't like it. I've heard from so many people, they just I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Just more rental culture. Everything's for rent now, and it sucks.
Yeah.
They can pull the rug out from under you, and forget it. You're doing the right thing.
Yeah, so no, you wouldn't be renting this digital sketch cover. If you get the digital sketch cover tier, it is yours. That PDF file will be sent to you. It'll be on your hard drive. It is just being like getting the book, except it's on your computer, it's on your tablet, it's whatever it is, and you can look at that piece of art whenever you want, on whatever device you want. And I will keep a copy just for archive sakes, but I'm not sharing it with anyone else. It is yours.
That's great. The idea of personalizing digital content and also your idea to write your own flash fiction personal piece from the writer is absolutely terrific. The closest I've come to that is doing signed copies of my original scripts for the comics. But I couldn't think of anything like a commission for a writer, and I absolutely love this idea. Let's see. Doug Wood unfortunately did not make his Kickstarter goal, so we need to make sure Luke makes his. Oh. Yeah, well, and I wanted to bring this up because what happened? We were all going to chip in and make Luke every bad guy in Doug's book, and that plan seems to have fallen apart because I really like that idea. It came up on our show last time.
We'll just have to make him every bad guy in our book.
Yeah, okay. Evan already has that in one of them.
Yeah, well, you can't hog them all.
I think that'll affect me, but I will love that. I will love that. I will get multiple copies of that book to show people. Be like, see,
we will make it.
I'm in this book multiple times.
Luke, one of the things I wanted to mention here and have you talk about a little bit is there's almost a sense with you that you came out of nowhere and then took over because you're constantly putting out these incredible comics, these great anthologies. But we were talking a little bit before we came on, and you were not always a comic person. What's your? Can you give? I don't usually do the origin story thing here, and you said, "Well, when I told you that, you were like, well, mine isn't very interesting," and then proceeded to tell me something very interesting because you, actually, like James Lines, you were not entrenched in comics growing up. So what is it that got
the hell
you
were you popular?
Yeah, no, I was not. I was in the marching band and I was in all the advanced classes. I was not popular at all.
All right, good. More like it.
No, even worse, I played the electric bass in marching band. I didn't even march. I was on the side of the field playing an electric
Christian,
bass.
get him off of here quickly. No,
my comics origin story, it's funny too, because I actually just wrote a newsletter piece that was kind of my origin story and about how it's like it's an odd story, but like I like that it's mine. But yeah, I didn't really get into comics until right before the pandemic hit. My dad, he like most boomers, has like a stack of comics that he keeps tied up with twine in his attic, and he like one day was like, hey, do you want to check these out? And I read them, and there I was like, these are fine. I remember though he had a copy of one of the issues of Secret Wars. I don't remember which one, but it had the Beyonder on the front doing this to the Earth, and that image stuck in my mind for a while. So like that's probably the true first spark, but it just took a while for me to get there. And then from there, like manga was really popular with all my friends in middle school. So like I had a subscription to Shonen Jump for a little bit, and I read the volumes of those stories there too. But yeah, it really didn't hit me until 2019. I just got randomly kind of nostalgic to read Mouse by Art Spiegelman because I remember reading that in high school English class. And so I was like, oh, I'll give this a shot. And then from there, I was like, okay, well, let me try out some of these other books. And so I got like Batman, The Killing Joke, the first volume of Sandman, and then a couple volumes of Alan Moore's Promethea. Still one of my favorite books. And it's a good one. Kind of just exploded from there. I started off writing reviews and doing interviews for Comic Book Yeti after doing my own blog for a couple of years where I did some articles on comics, and then eventually I just wanted to try my hand at writing it, and kind of the rest is history.
That's great. It's funny you mentioned Mouse. Tom Lynett, who's a really great friend of ours, also a letterer, also with the Comic Jam. His story about getting into comics is that he had been reading really heavy books in a row and decided to give himself a break. So he said he'd never read a comic before. He said, let me try comics, give myself some light reading. And what does he start with? Mouse and The Contract with God. This is your light reading?
He started with the most novelist graphic novels.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what got him into...
that was the wrong bridge. Luke, tell me you've read Love and Rockets, man.
I've not read a ton of Love and Rockets. I've read a little bit. I do enjoy it. It's just a lot of books in that series, so I haven't dived in quite yet. But
Yes,
I
go for
love
the
the Hernandez
collections if you
brothers.
can.
They're so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, awesome.
Daniel says that explains so much. Talking about Tom Lynott, I think.
You know, I'd rather someone start with those books as their first comic than like Watchmen, which seems to be everyone's like, "Oh, you don't read comics? Read Watchmen." Like, no, that's like giving someone War and Peace for their first novel.
Or better still would be From Hell. Your first entry into comics is From Hell.
Oh
yeah,
God!
Just throw comics,
The
Moby Dick
Dune
at
of
them.
comics.
Yeah,
Yeah, seriously.
And From Hell is probably one of my all-time. I think that you could teach From Hell next to War and Peace. It's literature as far as I'm concerned. But man, you got to be ready for it and dedicated. Luke, your
have a lot of
campaign
time on
goes
your hands.
until when?
Our campaign ends I can't remember the exact date, but it's the first week of November.
Okay.
I think it might be November 4th. It's a Friday. But
No, Friday, November 7th. I'm looking at it now.
Okay, yes, Friday, November 7th. I'm glad someone has the link up. It ends when we fund. I don't know.
No, you want to go well beyond the funding.
Exactly.
This is, folks, this is such a cool concept, and Luke's concepts are always cool. I am particularly intrigued by this, and I love the art that we saw here. There's a million different, not a million, but there's a good number of packages that you can choose from digitally and physically. One of my favorite things written here was under Letters from the Void, number 1, cover A. Excellent choice. Print is how the Void would prefer you to experience its tales. I thought that was terrific.
I tried to write all of the descriptions like the Void was instructing me to write them or whatever. I'm just trying.
Yes.
I'm trying to keep the concept going.
Folks, this is such a cool book. I'm going to put the link back in. Oh, Dylan Dog. I love Dylan Dog. What are we talking about Dylan Dog for? Let's see.
It's supposed to be so weird for people watching.
Steve Gerardo said something about 1970s erotic goth comics. And you guys have
yes. My first set of comics where I lived in Italy with 19. Oh, yeah. That could certainly be Dylan Dog. Though there were others like that as well. I'll share this.
Countless.
When I was 14 years old, we went to Italy to visit my mother's family. My uncle was a huge comic fan, and I didn't know anything about Italian comics at the time. He had Tex, he had Diabolique, he had Dylan Dog, and there was one other. And I swiftly made an incredible discovery. In Italian comics, there was nudity. And this, whenever I had a free moment, I went back into my cot had been put in his room. I was right next to the comics. I couldn't read the damn things. I didn't understand Italian, but I was flipping through looking for the next nude picture. Like, this is amazing. Why aren't American comics like this? But I ended up zeroing in on Diabolique and Dylan Dog because the art was so cool and the stories were actually really neat. But yeah, my first reason was actually, that's the whole reason I got into comics at all, is in fact pornography. Where I grew up in Yonkers.
so much.
When I grew up in Yonkers, there was the stationery store. For some reason, the dude put the porno mags right on the shelf, right above the comics.
He knew his audience. What do you want?
Yeah, he did. So we'd go there pretending to look at the comics, but actually trying to look up and get a glimpse of something. And one day while I was doing that, I had Spider-Man open and went, "Oh, this actually looks pretty cool." That's my entry into comics. That makes so much sense.
In Vegas, it makes so much sense.
Yeah, Daniel,
it's all coming together, isn't it?
Albino Satanists and heat. Yeah, there is certainly a melding point behind these. Your uncle had all the classics. He absolutely did. All right, so folks, in the chat is the link for Luke Henderson's latest Kickstarter. It is called Letters from the Void. Luke, you did all the lettering as well?
Yep, all the lettering, and I designed the book as well.
Beautiful. Luke puts out such quality products, and his projects are brilliant. The concepts behind them are brilliant. They really know what they're doing with these. You're in good hands with Luke. And I know that from past experience with previous projects Luke has put out. So I know for a fact that this is going to be awesome. And I'm already wowed by the concept and what I've seen of the execution.
Lined up.
Luke, share the advertisements you've been making. Oh, well, what is that?
Oh, you're talking about all the stuff I've been posting on my. You might just have to pull up my Instagram if you want to look at that. Just all the Instagram posts I've been making.
Oh, okay. Well, so folks, check out Luke's Instagram as well. Let's see. Hold on. No, you have to Google it, and you will see what I mean. Guido Creepax is an example. Okay, I got it. That was probably.
What are your socials?
Google that.
Yeah, Luke. What is your Instagram?
It is at Luke W. Henderson M, because someone already has Luke W. Henderson, and I don't know who they are. But I would like them to delete their account.
What was the last letter?
M, as in man.
Got it.
Or whatever you want M to mean. It had a meaning long ago. It no longer has a meaning.
Yeah, okay.
Maestro.
All right. Listen, Luke, thank you so much for being on tonight. Thanks for talking about your great project. Folks, go and absolutely back this. Yep. Yeah, you got backers while we were on the show, which is pretty cool. I'm really glad you came on. Thanks so much, Luke. I appreciate it. Marching band. Ryan's just catching up. Marching band.
Yes. I was in marching band in high school and in college. So yes.
Talk about a delayed reaction, Ryan.
And he played the bass in the marching band, folks.
Electric bass.
In college, I played baritone and tuba.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we've all told our stories tonight about how cool we are.
Hold on, I want to know. When you're saving the penguins, do you sometimes just take a quiet night at home and bust out the tuba? I just want to know. Like, that's one of those instruments you don't just like pull out and just like twiddle away and go to bed.
I still have a old fiberglass tuba that I have used for stuff, but it's been a while, and I honestly probably need to grease those valves because I'm sure they're frozen stuck right now.
All right, grease them up and send us a video. And
yes,
M is for marching.
So, Ryan, I'm sorry he was not out of step, pun intended. He knew what that M stood for. I got it, Ryan. I apologize. I wasn't sharp enough to catch that.
Okay, I'll say what the M was for. Back before I got into comics, I was trying to start a marketing business. So M stood for music, media, and marketing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now it stands for merchandising.
Yeah. I think that we're going to go with marching band from now on.
I like that better.
No, it's done. There's no going back now.
Guys, get on this. Phrasing. He must be referring to the lubing up the grease holes or whatever we were saying.
Lubing up the grease holes. Good night, folks. All right. Jesus.
That's how I remember it.
Here we are, lubing up the grease holes on Fugitive Poems. Come join us.
Go lube up your grease holes and have a great night. This is Christian De Matteo with Luke Henderson and Mark Capitelli on The Art Will Not Be Changing, saying good night, and we'll see you whenever the next time we do a show is. Talk to you soon, and goodbye.
Good luck, Luke.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.